Dean, we watched Coming to America.
Yeah, hold on. I have an issue where if you say to someone, have you seen Coming to America?
Yeah.
You don't know if they're talking about the first one or the second one. What other movie has the exact same title as its predecessor? You have a movie and its sequel. They're called the same thing.
I mean, the Fast and Furious franchise comes very close sometimes. The first Fast and Furious is called The Fast and the Furious. The fourth one's called Fast and Furious.
Okay.
It just cuts out the thes.
Yeah, the thes are gone though. There is a difference.
Yes. So do you say, hey, have you seen Coming to America?
So Coming to America?
Or do you say, have you seen the second Coming to America?
The second coming of America. They should have called it that.
Coming to America, the sequel. So,
No, that's
bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
The second coming of America would have been good.
So you're not a big, I want to say, I don't know if you're a big fan. I don't think you like the first film. You don't have a lot of nostalgia to the first film, I guess you could say.
I think I saw it for the first time like 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
So I never saw it when I was young.
See, I've seen it a lot.
Really?
This is one of those films that I taped off TV when I was like 12 and just watched it continuously.
Yeah, I definitely have heard and am aware about the massive popularity of the first coming to
This
America.
was a big film, not just like later on, but like it picked up a big box office at the time. Like Eddie Murphy was in his prime in the late 80s, of course, and he just made this film go bananas back in the day. And I've seen the first Coming to America over 10 times at least.
So
And
I imagine you would have had a different viewing experience of the second one, knowing the first one so well.
Well, I watched the first one again a couple of days prior to watching it.
I'm not sure that would help. Considering how much flashbacks to the first movie we get in this sequel, I don't think watching the first one a few days before would help.
Well, before we get into that, why don't we talk about what we liked about the film, okay? So, first off, obviously, it's a sequel to Coming to America. Basically, King Akeem is in, and he's found out he's got a long-lost son that he made in America, basically. So he gets him over to...
Which he needs because, you know...
He does not have a son.
He doesn't have a son. He's just got some useless daughters, apparently, which are no
Glad you
good...
said apparently.
Which are no good for ruling, apparently. So he's got to get this son who knows nothing about their culture or ways, because that son would be a better ruler than these women.
I mean, that's how some monarchies have their rules.
Did you say son monarchies?
Some.
Oh, some monarchies.
Yes. Okay. So, obviously, it stars Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall. Basically, a lot of people from the first film are back here, but there are some newcomers, such as Jermaine Fowler, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, KiKi Layne. Wesley Snipes is in this one.
Who's KiKi Layne?
KiKi Layne is the oldest daughter.
Okay. She was good.
She was good. She was the lead actress in If Beale Street Could Talk,
Okay.
and she was also in that film with Charlize Theron last year, The Old Guard, as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Directed by Craig Brewer.
Did he direct the first one?
No. John Landis directed the first movie. He's a big 80s star. He did the Blues Brothers, all that stuff. Apparently, I did read up that him and Eddie Murphy had a massive fallout from that movie to the point where Murphy said he would never work with him again after that.
I feel like Murphy's probably said that to a few people.
John Landis also directed Trading Places as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that after Coming to America?
No, that was before. Which is interesting because you wouldn't know this, but there is very small tie-ins from Trading Places to Coming to America. In the first one and in the second one. It's basically set in the Trading Places Coming to America universe.
The Trading America-verse.
That'd be a good movie.
What?
Coming to Trade in America.
Coming to Trade in America. Yeah.
You've got your next Hollywood hit. No, Craig Brewer directed Hustle and Flow. He did Black Snake Moan.
Nice.
And he also did Dolomite Is My Name.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's back with Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes.
And Wesley Snipes. What do you think of Wesley Snipes in this?
I think he's fine. Like he's entertaining in the points where he's at. He does his bit. He comes in for a laugh. He's not overbearing. I think he's good.
I think he's serviceable.
Yeah.
Just below good.
For Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see someone like this, whom I've heard the horror stories about, especially in Blade Trinity, actually seem like he's being a contributing and team player to a film. It's good.
Well, he definitely did that in Dolomite Is My Name.
Oh, for sure. It's good to see him get another gig.
Yeah, I agree completely. But let's talk about what else we liked about the film, Dean. Why don't we kick it off with you?
Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
I liked that he's been reined back in a bit. I feel like with age, he's calmed down and he's gone away from his stupid, offbeat characters from Norbert, the Nutty Professor bad ones, all that sort of stuff. Firstly, he looks amazing. He just has not aged. Same with Arsenio Hall as well. Those two guys.
Oh, Arsenio Hall looks really, really... I can see the age a little bit with Eddie Murphy, probably because I just watched the first one as well.
Yeah, okay.
But no, like for, 30 years later...
30 years.
Looks great.
They both look amazing.
Yeah.
But no, Eddie Murphy, I liked him in this. I thought he is still able to carry a film. He's funny enough, and he's not being stupid.
Yeah, he has definitely let himself take a step back
Yep.
and let everyone else
Yep.
contribute as well.
Yes.
I agree. I think Eddie Murphy does really well in this film. A lot of the supporting cast are pretty good in this film as well. I do enjoy it because I don't think anyone is completely overbearing in this film. Everyone has their time. If you want to get to bad, we'll get to bad later. Okay.
All right.
And for me, there's a lot of nostalgic callback jokes in this film that I definitely had a laugh at.
Okay.
I'll say a couple because we'll get to the bad later. But there was several jokes in this film that they replayed from the first one. That I was like, that's cool. I understand that. I can understand where you might have an issue with that, considering you don't really know the first film that well. And a lot of those jokes will just go right over your head and have no idea what they're talking about. And in the context of a single movie, that's unforgivable.
Unforgivable?
I mean, if you're going and watching
words.
a movie and there's a joke that is played for a massive laugh that you just do not understand at all because you need to have the context from the first film, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, okay. Another good thing, I think the set design and costumes are really good.
Yeah. The costumes are fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone looks like pristine.
No, they really do.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job there. Really having a good expression of the African culture there. I thought it was really impressive.
Absolutely.
All right, do you have any more good stuff, Hendo? Can we get to the bad?
I mean, you really want to get to the bad. I can already tell.
I mean, I didn't like this film.
Okay. Why don't you explain why?
Because it's not funny.
Okay.
Like, this is a flat-out comedy. The aim of this film is to make you laugh. I don't think I laughed once. I did not like Tracy Morgan at all. I felt he was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Leslie Jones at all.
The new cast is definitely... Okay, I'm not going to say the whole new cast because I think KiKi Layne was really good.
Who's his son?
Jermaine Fowler.
Jermaine Fowler was good.
Yes, I didn't want to put them into the same bundle as your Leslie Jones and Tracy Morgan.
I agree. But these over-the-top people who are there just to be really, really funny in big, loud moments, when that misfires, which it does every single time for Leslie Jones and Tracy Morgan, I was just like, oh, cringe.
Yeah.
Like, come on, where's Eddie Murphy?
I think for me, one of the worst things about this film, and it's not so much, the worst sounds like such a really negative thing to say. One of the weaker things about this film is the rehash of the plot as well. The whole story of his son doing exactly what Akeem did, and it's almost word for word at certain points. And I'm like, you have to do something a little bit different. Yeah, like you do have a bit more of a growth story with Akeem here, but the story of his son is almost beat for beat.
And I think the issue with that is, and this is from me who doesn't remember really the plot from the first one. Like, having seen the second one, obviously I know what the plot from the first one is because they keep reminding us. But this film is so predictable.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know immediately from the first scenes where they're like, oh, we can't have a daughter rule. We need to find a son.
Of course they're going to do that.
You know exactly the entire film.
But this film is always going to be something like that. It is a rom-com, that sort of genre. Most rom-coms generally have this sort of formula to go through.
I don't think this is a rom-com. I think this is a comedy with romantic elements.
Okay, it's a com-rom, all right?
No, it's a comedy.
Comedy romance.
I would say most comedies have some romance in them.
No.
Yes?
I disagree.
Okay, you're wrong, but yeah.
Hot Fuzz?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Do you think there's some romance in that?
Yes. There's brotherly love.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's some bro love there. They really go out of their way to cater to, I guess, people like you who don't know the first film well at all by putting in many, many flashbacks.
Yeah,
from
so
the
many
first film.
flashbacks. I was taken aback by even the first flashback. I was like, wow, they're just showing clips from the first movie now.
But what I didn't mind was they actually do some extended parts of what happened after the scene you saw. And there is some little wonky CGI, but overall I think that was pretty effective. I thought the extended parts of that clearly weren't shot back in the 80s and they've done it now. I thought they worked well.
Okay.
But when they're showing just flat out scenes from the first film, like you said, considering I just watched it a day before, I'm like, man, I understand what they're trying to say here, but I can see why they're putting this in for people who don't know the first film or haven't seen the first film, those random people who haven't seen the first film, still for me, bugged me. Yeah. A lot of the nostalgic jokes, they felt like eye rolls to me as well.
Okay.
Like I could see them coming. Like, here we go. Here's the joke that they did in the first film. They're going to do again. It's just not going to be as effective. They did it. I'm like, all right. But there were some that came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that's good. I like that. The smaller nostalgic jokes were the ones that got me.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we've had a good discussion about what we think is good and what we think is bad about the film.
Glad you think so.
I think so. What are your overall final thoughts and rating?
Yeah, so for me, I think that, like, I wouldn't say I was excited to watch this, but I was looking forward to watching a film, with Eddie Murphy, sequel to Coming to America. That's all fine. It was boring. It wasn't funny. Eddie Murphy was enjoyable to see again. Wesley Snipes was okay, but it's not funny. It's a comedy, and it's so predictable. I'm going 1.5 stars.
Okay, that's harsh. So coming at it from a more nostalgic point of view.
So even you having to say that, though, I feel like you understand this isn't a good film.
No, okay, you want me to say the good things that don't include nostalgia. Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, Jermaine Fowler, KiKi, Layne, they're all really good. Like, very good performances throughout this film. There are some bad performances in this film. A lot of the non-nostalgic humor is a miss. Costumes are great, looks really good. It doesn't feel like a long movie. Like, I think it breezes through.
Oh, it's not boring.
No.
It's not a boring film.
No, it is predictable, but, so what? That's not a mark off it for me. The nostalgia really kicks it up a notch for me. There's a lot of that stuff that works in there, some that doesn't, but I can't give this a pass purely off nostalgia alone because the general comedy in there just isn't enough to classify this as a good comedy. The negatives outweigh the positive for me, but I'm going 2.5.
I thought you would, Hendo.
Oh, you know me so well. But that's our review of Coming to America. It is available on Amazon Prime if you want to go check it out.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.